Hey guys, what's up? So I wanted to make a video to share some advice on how to become the best platoon leader possible. Honestly, I'm really excited to make this video because these are all things I wish I had known before being a platoon leader, and it's all stuff that I think can really help. So all of this is going to be based off of my experience of being a platoon leader twice. I'll do a quick little thing here to tell you about my background in terms of being a platoon leader, but I also made a video last week that tells about what I've done in my Army career so far, so I'll put that here somewhere in case you want to see my background before you decide if you want to take advice from me or not. So the number one tip I have is to be approachable but respectable. It's important that your soldiers can feel like they can come up to you and talk to you for a lot of reasons. One, just in terms of building camaraderie, building a team, that's important, but also if your soldiers are comfortable and are willing to speak freely and openly with you, you'll learn a lot about when things are messed up, or you'll get good recommendations on things that could be better or that are going really well, etc. But at the same time, you can't be buddy-buddy with your soldiers. You need to be somebody that they can look up to and that they can respect, because when times are bad and maybe you're in a really long field exercise, you haven't gotten sleep, you haven't really eaten much, you haven't showered, anything like that, it's during those times where if you're buddy-buddy with your soldiers, they're not going to respect you the same way. Just, it won't be as good. So act in a respectable way. Don't look and act like you're still a freshman in college. Carry yourself professionally. Set the example. Have a clean uniform. Make sure your hair's not all over the place. You shave every morning, stuff like that. But at the same time, be approachable in how you act. So I'd say look professional, carry yourself professionally, but act in an approachable way, but where you're not trying to be your best friend. Number two is show that you care. Obviously, you can't do this unless you actually care, and if you don't care, you're gonna fail. And honestly, you should never be a platoon leader in the first place. So you need to show that you care. Doing so will build trust and strengthen the team. And some examples of this could be knowing when your soldiers' birthdays are, and when it's their birthday, try to, you're not always gonna be able to, but try to give them half the day off. Learn about your soldiers' backgrounds and families. Ask them how their dad's doing, ask them how their wife's doing, ask them how their kids are doing. Do that kind of stuff. Get invested in your team. Also, another way I had a lot of success doing this is doing something I called broadening classes, which is basically after talking to soldiers and getting to know them, I realized that a lot of them had trouble with financial issues, and they just never had a background where they learned how to do things like budget or invest, which led to them to having money problems, which led them to having a lot of stress in their personal life, which sometimes led to them not being able to do their job as good as they could. So we would do a broadening class once a month on budgeting, investing, whatever they wanted to do. And personally, that helped me and my platoons out a lot because it gave me and the NCOs an opportunity to show that we care. Not just say that we care, but to show it. I just give a class, and then the NCOs would really sit down and go through credit card statements, go through bank statements, everything like that, and create personalized plans. So speaking about this, I'm actually working on a project that kind of has to do with this. Unfortunately, it's not ready yet, but I'll leave a little placeholder here for when it is ready so you can check it out. So number three is counseling. Use counseling, especially initial and quarterly counseling. This is something that a lot of leaders always mean to do, but it always just kind of gets pushed aside because something comes up or you're always so busy, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, it is definitely worth your time. Doing an initial counseling lets your subordinate leaders know what you expect from them, how you see where the team is going. It'll kind of give a lot of purpose behind all the tasks that you're going to be giving out throughout your time as a platoon leader. So it's really good to let them know what your expectations are and why you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do. And then quarterly counselings let you, hey, this is kind of what we agreed to in the beginning in the initial counseling, and this is where I think we're at with that. And it really just makes sure there's an open line of communication. So making your first initial counseling can be hard, especially as a brand new lieutenant. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one of my initial counselings that I did, I'm gonna put in the description below, so at least you have something to start from. I would take it and tailor it for your team, but I hope it's a good starting point. Number four, this one is pretty obvious. You're gonna hear it all the time, but somehow people still don't do it. It is listen to your NCOs. This one is so obvious, but it's so important. Your NCOs are a wealth of knowledge and experience, where you as a newer lieutenant, maybe with 6 months to 2 or 3 years of experience, they're gonna have anywhere from probably 3, 4, 5 to upwards of 16, 17, 18 years of experience. Take advantage of that. Learn from them. Your NCOs are gonna know that you're brand new. They're gonna know that you don't know everything. They don't expect you to. Really, all they expect from you is to care, to listen, and to put the team first. If you do those things, they're gonna support you. And if you don't, they're probably gonna let you fail. So now I'm gonna go ahead and say something kind of against the grain. Just like not all officers are made the same, not all soldiers are made the same, not all NCOs are made the same. So kind of figure out who your strongest NCOs are and learn from them. And the number 5 tip I have for being the best best platoon leader possible is to constantly learn and get better. Like I said before, as a new lieutenant, it's obvious you're not going to know everything. You're probably not going to know pretty much anything. But what's more important is that you show that you care and that you're constantly trying to get better and you're trying to grow as a leader. So some ways to do this are to talk to your NCOs, senior officers. If you can, try to sit down with your battalion commander, your battalion sergeant major, your battery commander, your first sergeant before you become a platoon leader. And just kind of see what they have to say, see what kind of advice they have seen that worked. At the same time, and I know nobody likes to do this, including me, I almost refuse to do this, but it is very helpful to dig into the manuals. Digging into the manuals, doctrine, the technical manuals, all those things will give you kind of good background and good foundation from which you can build on. Also, try to find some informal mentors. Find another lieutenant who's really killing it and try to learn as much as you can from them. See what they do. Take mental notes on how they solve problems, how they accomplish things, and learn from that. And of course, try things, fail sometimes, learn from your mistakes. As a platoon leader, you're constantly going to want your platoon to get better. So you should set the example by constantly making yourself better. So that's it, guys. I hope that's helpful. I hope ideas like broadening classes, the initial counselings, finding those strong NCOs and officers and really learning from them as much as possible. Those are going to help you so much in the long run if you can do it. And like always, the point of this channel is for me to give advice and recommendations based off of my experience and what I've done myself so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Hopefully this helps. Leave a like if it did. Leave a comment below if you have any other ideas on videos you want me to make. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook if you want. And of course, subscribe to join me on this journey. But anyways, that's all I've got for today, guys. So until next time, keep killing it.